Less of those sucky maps.
I can tell that,
I'm not salty at all about them.
man. I'm glad you say it.
You know, I'll say it. I'll say the things that you can't because, like, you know, you're working for WCS and stuff.
Thanks, Ben.
All right. So first map, Steelmaker, aka sLivko, spawning as the. In fact, it's the yellow Zerg spawning the bottom left of Overgrowth. It is sLivko.
And his opponent in the northeast, playing for Dead Pixels, he is True. The red Zerg. What is that? Is that like a man in a hoodie? Is there like a little logo in game?
Let's have a look. Oh, the Dead Pixel logo. Now,
Like, actual Dead Pixels suck though. Like that's the last thing you want.
Dead Pixels.
Like on a monitor. You know what a dead pixel is, right, Ben?
I'm guessing it's just a pixel that doesn't do anything because it's dead.
Yeah. That's like basically it. Like
What color is it? Is it black?
It can be
Gray?
black or white.
White?
Like
Just black or white?
a stuck pixel can be fixed, but a dead pixel is like it's like something's burned out on the land. It'll show up as white on a monitor because the backlight's still on.
I'm glad that their clan tag is DPix and not like DP, because you never want like.
Jeez. I mean, there's enough people that already find the D-Pix. Like, it's just like, come on.
In fact, any way you think of
I'm
that
glad
clan tag,
I'm glad we're getting this out of the way at the start of the broadcast. So if True ends up winning this, we've already talked about it.
like any way that you say that, like you can either abbreviate to DP or DPix. Like, it's all pretty funny. Like I remember when that clan first came about, and I was like, man, it's kind of funny when you abbreviate your clan tag to DP. But yeah, DPix True. Like they are actually a very solid, well-established team though. Like they had True out in Europe for a while.
They've got good players, man.
Yeah, like True, Patience, Fantasy. They have a European called Elroy, I believe, too. But even for the Katowice qualifier in Europe, they flew Fantasy out just to compete in the qualifier, in which Fantasy did end up winning. I believe he beat Snook 3-2 to qualify. So was money well spent, I suppose, on those flights.
Yeah, I always like to see these types of teams because you can get such high talented players. Like True, for me, was always a treat to watch play in Pro League. I actually quite liked him in ZVZ in particular. So, you know, how this matchup goes, I'm going to favor him over sLivko, but maybe sLivko does something crazy. I haven't watched sLivko play ZVZ in a while. I know versus Terran, he can get pretty aggro. You know, he's one of those guys that'll still go Broodlords if the game goes long.
He's a greedy fella. Like against Terran, you'll often see him go like lots of Ling, Baneling, Roach. You know,
Yeah.
big swell of units.
Yeah.
Very greedy in that matchup too. I was just thinking about the clan tag DPix, and I was like putting it in front of names like DP Nathanius and stuff. Like, I think it sounds
Not
pretty
sure
cool.
I could get away with that one, Ben.
Really?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Anyhow, so what's happening here? So both players opened up hatch first. In fact, yeah, they did, right? I believe so.
Both players have basically done the same exact thing,
Well,
except the gas.
yeah, no, gasless for True over here, and a gas for sLivko. So sLivko has to make some use of early lings, be it denying his opponent's third for longer than his. True, on the other hand, going to be playing a very defensive style. Is he going to try and hunt down that Overlord?
He's really extending himself quite a bit, but speed is nowhere near done. So
Kind of ballsy, but
I mean, I guess he's going to get it.
yeah, and he's still going to have enough queens back at home because he didn't invest in that gas and
Yeah, because the next
speed.
couple queens finish up close enough to when his inject is done. So he just wants to kill that. And I'm trying to think about this Overlord beyond just being an Overlord. You know what I mean? Like
like
what
an
else?
overseer.
What else does this Overlord represent for sLivko in this game? Being able to spot units moving out into the map, is he? But I feel like with how late the gas is taken for True, you know, he could get another Overlord there in time or have the tower with his speed. So denying scouting is always nice, but I feel like this thing's gonna get through. So he knows everything anyway. And True immediately starts the spine crawler. I think he's like, well, now you know how I'm opening, so yeah, definitely need a spine.
I think anytime you can kill an Overlord, you might as well kill an Overlord, especially even get away with it for nothing, which was kind of what happened.
I was just trying to do that commentator thing where I talk about how it matters more than it actually matters. You know?
Ah, okay, smart.
I mean, there's a
Nathanius.
lot of things, you know, it's not just that 8 supply.
I really like the fact that 18 lings pop as True's third starts going down. So that was very well timed by sLivko. Now these 18 lings are going to they can potentially cancel that third, which I think is ultimately
Well,
what they're
that's
gonna
why
do.
you open speed, right? You get this map control, and you're basically telling the guy, hey, you're too... He's actually... Yeah, those queens are totally dead.
Oops.
Or he can do this.
I mean, I think out of the two options...
This is actually better for True, don't you think?
Yeah.
Well, he's still going to lose drones, but he's going to lose stuff either way.
Right.
Now he keeps his third.
Would you rather keep your third and your 2 queens, or would you rather lose a few drones? Well, I think that's a trade I'd take any day.
Yeah, I think this is a lot better than it could have been, because picking off those queens and canceling the third for his game plan probably would have worked out better for him.
Yeah, resources lost as well. I think this is a...
A lot of these drones are weak, so he's going to come in and finish a few off, but like the way he spread the damage out across the drones was still pretty damn good.
Yeah, I actually like this position for True, even though he's behind in drones and such.
Yeah, but without opening speed, still having his third base finish this closely to how close the Zergling speed player's third base finishes, like that's still good. He's got a lead on roach speed, +1 tack is way ahead for his roaches, and therefore +2 if he goes straight for it.
The one thing that True has, I guess, is he didn't make that big investment on a link speed with the gas and such, which is why he's ahead on a few of the upgrades.
I also assume sLivko didn't realize that there were 2 queens totally exposed in the middle of nowhere.
Right, and True, I was about to call him D-Picks, True. Like, True has a lot of gas saved up, so he can like potentially take a big lead in upgrades if he wants to. Doesn't have to worry. Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about getting this gas either just yet, but he is getting it anyhow. Lots of drones coming out for him.
Yeah. I mean, I like the setup because, as you said, with that much gas and the faster +1, he can get +2 very, very quickly. sLivko has started to put out a good number of roaches, and look at this. True actually immediately going for Burrow and Tunneling Claws now that his roach speed is finished up. So we're going to see him potentially go for some counterplay, and there's that +2 attack.
Yeah, so don't let the supply deceive you too much. There is a huge investment in upgrades here. So the Tunneling Claws, the +2 attack, and the Burrow. That's a lot of minerals and gas that, if he wasn't having those, he could potentially be at equal supply with his opponent right now. But he does have a drone lead here too. sLivko moving out across the map, hoping to deal a little bit of damage and maybe take advantage of this upgrade lead, which I don't... In fact, when I say upgrade lead, these upgrades in production, which I'm not sure he knows about just yet. But yeah, True could be in trouble here.
Yeah, we'll have to see as the roaches are going to move themselves in for sLivko, and he's just trying to use that numbers advantage. Like you said, a lot of resources invested. The Spine Crawler has not yet rooted itself for True, and True's actually pulling his drones against sLivko in this position. Of course, he's the faster reinforcement point, but the Spine Crawler is taken down, and you know, the drones actually did a reasonable job of buffering while they waited for these roaches to finish up.
I actually think that drone pool was totally misplaced. Like, they all kind of gathered around.
It
looked
like he drew a little bit of fire. Like he didn't actually. I mean, he's still ahead in drones, right? Like sLivko's droning up behind this. We were talking about how he started building roaches much earlier.
I don't think they got shot at all, and I don't think they did any buffering or damage.
Really?
So like, I think they all just bunched up.
Did he actually not really kill any drones at all?
No. I think that was a bit of an overreaction by True to pull drones.
Oh wow, he didn't. Wow, that was weird.
Yeah, I mean, like, the observer just showed us there that sLivko had a few kills.
It's still only most of those drone kills that he got were at the start of the game.
Yeah, so a bit of an overcommittal, but you obviously don't want to lose when you think you are the better player, kind of thing.
Yeah. So True got some roaches unburrowing in the third base and the main, while at the same time rushing towards the natural. And this is basically what we were talking about with that upgrade lead.
Oh, look at this too. These roaches all running to the main, unburrowing on the natural.
Well, this is just the reckoning, man. He didn't have an overseer in front of his base, and now roaches have killed an absurd number of drones and are just being a general pain in the ass.
Yeah, and look, they burrow, they're regenerating, they're running away. Big drone lead for True, big supply lead for True.
He's got roaches everywhere.
I mean, what a move. So he survived the attack from sLivko, and now he's just decimating and tearing him apart from the inside. Great play by True here. Now 50 supply lead in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, you know what, man? Like, we were talking about this. He made that big push, sLivko. He was behind on drones. He tried to build drones afterwards, but then all the upgrades finished for True. His +2 attack finished up, his burrow finished up, and his burrow move, and his roaches are just better now.
It was pretty clean play overall by True, and I really love this burrow play. Like, I don't understand why more players don't do it. I mean, it can be a slight bit risky when you run into like an overseer or what, but getting away and losing like 2 or 3 roaches, I mean, it always seems worth it to me. I mean, this was a game-winning play by True in a situation that was relatively even until that happened.
Yeah, now he just has an absurd unit count advantage over his opponent. He can just waltz those roaches up. True just has more roaches that surround all over sLivko's army, and we can see sLivko's supply just begin to plummet. GG. True takes
Did you see
Game
that
number
too?
one.
He was burrowing injured roaches there at the front too.
He was over microing in a situation where he pretty much had the game.
Over
in the bag.
No, he was just microing. Over microing implies that you did something bad.
Well, I mean, it was just like, you know,
Like that situation where you're trying to over
But it's
split,
like-
where you're not dealing damage because you're splitting too much.
yeah, there's like
That's
one
a thing.
baneling and you scatter every single marine humanly possible, and it's just like
Yeah.
you didn't need to do that.
Actually, in TVC, I started splitting less, and it works out better in the current metagame.
Because the Zergs just run all their lings ahead of your army anyway. Try to
Also,
surround.
like the fact that Zergs are kind of over, or when I say overmaking, they're making so many banelings, they're just kind of like gunning them down. Alien style is pretty cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
If they don't get on top of your marines.
If they don't, but like, you know, hope for the best.
Yeah. Map number 2, we are currently waiting on. I guess due to the way that the
veto system, we should have it
system
already.
changed, the map should already be known, so they're just going to host it up, and I guess we'll find out in a few moments' time. Benjamin,
Yes, Nathanius.
how you feeling today, man?
You know, I'm a little tired because.
Did you get any Did you get any ladder games in today?
Yeah, 3v3.
33,
3v3.
3v3.
A
You-
3v3
you
game.
played a 3v3 game
Yeah.
today.
Well, I arrived at the office pretty late. But
And-
yeah, like I had this moment at like 6:30 a.m. Like, and I'm going to tell you about it, Nathan, because like I didn't sleep yesterday at all. And I came to the office and casted with you.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, it's going to be a really good sleep. And then I got into bed, slept, and then at 6:30, this American in my room just starts freaking shuffling around.
I tried
And
to.
I heard stories about this man from a French guy, about him waking him up at like some obscene time.
I can't believe how sensitive your ears are, man. I can't help it if the floor creaks. I tiptoed across.
I mean, if tiptoed makes huge bangs, then sure, Nathan. Like, if your tiptoes are like literally bigger than legs,
You
like
know
sure.
what, man? I don't know if you've seen my calves. I can't be as light as a feather
What
like
were
the
you
old
doing
days.
at 6:30 a.m.?
I went to get breakfast.
And then you went back to bed?
Well, I had to get dressed.
And then you went back to bed?
Yeah.
Like, who does this? Who gets up at 6:30 a.m.?
I didn't eat yesterday after we finished casting. That's why. I was pretty hungry when I went to sleep.
So then you decided to get up at 6:30 a.m., wake me up, after I didn't sleep
When nature
for
calls.
36 hours.
We're getting ready
This
to
is
go.
why Todd hates you. Because of moments like this, Nathanius.
No, but the difference is you have a right to be upset at 6:30. Todd doesn't have a right to be upset
Oh,
at
Todd
noon.
doesn't have a right?
At noon.
It was noon?
At noon. That's
Oh,
pushing it.
Okay, yeah, that's pushing it a little bit.
yeah.
Also, this was totally unnecessary. Like, if you just ate last night,
I'm sorry. Map 2 is going to be Catalina. Hopefully
you're
you
so
guys
happy you heard that in your ear, aren't you? It's like,
are,
let's move on, let's move on.
Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day. Of course, as you can see behind us, you can always tweet at us at FragBiteM. As well, your head's kind of covering half of it. I'll try to be a little bit shorter today. And you can, of course, hit us up on Facebook, facebook.com/FragBiteMasters.
Or just tweet at Nathan for being this guy that woke me up at 6:30.
You can tweet at DeMuslim if you think it's important to eat breakfast every day. Because I think it's...
Yeah, it's important. What did you have for breakfast?
I had a croissant.
A croissant?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
There's something about it, man. You just can't. Getting stuff like that in America.
In America? It
It's
sucks?
tricky. It's tricky.
Really?
It sucks.
Wow. Where'd you go? 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Nice.
That beats whatever I can reach in California, man. Or at least from where I live.
You're such a funny eater. Like, if I was in California, I'd be like,
Well, I don't
yeah,
really
man, I'm
eat
getting
a lot.
Chipotle.
At 6:30 a.m.
When does it open?
I have no idea.
I just get Chipotle all the time, man.
I don't go
Or
to Chipotle.
In-N-Out Burger.
I don't go to Chipotle.
You know, do you go In-N-Out Burger?
No.
Do you not like burgers?
I mean, I like burgers, but Ben, I'm on the losing weight train.
And you eat a croissant. Do you realize that's like pure carbs?
For breakfast, it's acceptable. We're loaded into Catalina in the top position, down 0-1. Yellow Zerg player, Steelmaker, aka sLivko, and his opponent in the left spawn, representing Dead Pixels, DeMuslim's favorite username, DPixTrue.
I didn't even think about like D-pics are true. Like I think it's cool. D-pics.
You're trying to connect it now? You're,
Well,
you're like, let's connect the D-pics to
I
the
mean,
true part?
They have a pretty cool like lineup of players. Like D-pics fantasy, like D-pics patience. Like they're all kind of funny, in a way. Like, D-Pix the Muslim just doesn't...
In a messed up way.
Yeah. So, Catalina between these two players. They both opened up as greedy as they possibly could last time. Like, one went gasless, one went gas. But here, a pool first for True. And
yeah,
Steel
14
series.
pool out of True.
It was 14. Was it really? Wow.
Yeah, it was a 14 pool.
Do you reckon he's going to fall? Oh, I was going to say maybe gas opening as well. But, we'll see what he does with this. Maybe he thinks, like, beat him in the macro game. Now I can play safe because he might cheese me. Given that I outplayed him so hard. Like, a lot of ZVZ is a lot of... It's a lot of mental fortitude, like, and it's a bit of a rock, paper, scissors game at the start. It doesn't mean you're going to hardcore win, but the fact that he won so comfortably in that first game, maybe he just thinks, my opponent might have to consider cheesing me to win here, so I'm just going to play it safe.
Yeah, and that's understandable to a certain degree. However, we can see that sLivko is, not, at least, he's not doing a fast spawning pool build of any kind. He's got his hatchery up faster, and it's, that's kind of... It's a comfortable position to be in against someone who opens pool first.
And just to talk a little bit about these players, sLivko, for those that don't know, he's a player from Russia. And with a name like Steelmaker, you might think, Steelmaker? Like, but if you see him, he's actually like the buffest guy in StarCraft 2.
He's ripped. We all aspire to have as many gains as sLivko.
Like, and I don't just mean big. Like, just a big fella. He's freaking ripped, man. Like, he walks into the room and... he's so freaking cut and so huge. Like, he is the perfect human being. But he's just like some Russian dude. Some Russian dude that owns
I like how
StarCraft.
the Russian dude is an anecdote, like it's a bad thing. It's like, yeah, he's like the most ripped, perfect human being, but he's Russian.
I didn't mean but, I meant like and.
Okay. I see how it is. I'm Russian Muslim. You can't get away with that.
Yeah, but you're a little Russian. He's like a big, buff Russian.
One day I'll level up.
You're like a little buff Russian.
I'll get there eventually. I'll get there one day.
Do you think you look Russian?
No.
No?
No one tells me I look Russian. We were going to commentate this game, but now Muslim has to thoroughly examine my face. These Zerglings trying to pick off a drone. Ooh, that last second morph. For the 14 pool opening, he would have liked to have gotten something. And sLivko's like, after that fantastic micro, I think there's some lag.
Eye lags. I like that he put the little apostrophe thing there.
Yeah.
Totally unnecessary, though.
Eye lag is.
I mean, that sounds really cool.
It's an okay contraction. All right, we're back. It sounds like the game is going again. But, yeah, well.
So
I just thought it was funny that he mentioned lag after, like, pulling at the last second to have that drone become a sport, because oftentimes when you lose that drone, then you're like, there must be some lag.
But he's like, I made a good move. Just make sure. But yeah, now, what does True see here? Well, he sees the bailing nest at the front. He's going to try... Well, he sees drones are still being made because he saw that rally was going over there. So let's see what he's doing. On the side of the map, we have a spine crawler in production. Remember that True did open pool first. So economic-wise, he is a little bit behind because of the opening. As you can see, he is behind in drones, despite making somewhat less structures because he didn't make the extractor. Didn't make the bailing nest either just yet. In fact, he has no gases at all. Yeah. Multiple queens, though, at the front here. He's going to hunt down the Overlord pretty shortly.
Yeah, even though he went pool first, he still wanted to just play this gasless style.
I guess he didn't want to go for the hunting that Overlord, given that his opponent does have Link's speed soon to be done. Does not know just when, but yeah.
I mean, he almost got caught with his pants down as far as his queen positioning went last game.
What do you think True's plan is here? I mean, he's only just started making an extractor.
I think he's just playing it slow. Really, really slow.
Roach Warren. Okay.
Like, maybe he'll just get 1-1. The advantage for sLivko is his tech is just so much faster. He can go straight to a Spire. He has enough gas.
He's up to 4 gases now, too.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a Roach Warren on the way, so he can't start speed. So it's got to be a Spire. Boom.
Bam.
Look at that. ZVZ in all its glory. Does he have a Roach Warren when the layer is done? Yes. Speed. No. Spire. Boom.
No Evos either, which is usually a big indicator for the Spire play. No third on the way yet for either player. Still lots of drones being produced by True. Wow.
True's Overlord is making its way towards the main base of sLivko, though. And if he sees this, that's where things get tricky. That's when they get dicey.
Do you think he's...
Well, the Spire isn't in the main base, but, actually, his Overlord by the natural might not be able to spot this.
Now, this yellow blob on the left side of the map, is that just a group of lings?
Yeah, it's just lings. Some lings chilling.
Okay, and True, obviously a little bit worried here as he's producing lings and ling speed at this moment in time. As we can see from the production tab, both somewhat unnecessary, but we'll see what he's actually going for here.
3 spines being built by
Is
sLivko.
he going for a Roach Bane all in here? I mean, he's making a Baneling nest, he's making ling speed, lots of lings.
It's hard to tell. Maybe he's realized, based on what he's seen, that it could be a Muta opener and he wants to try to kill him, but it doesn't. I don't think it'll work.
If it was that, I think it's way too late. Yeah, and I mean, sLivko producing 3 spines here, so I mean, he's kind of ready for some attack at his front door, but you know, he's got to be thinking like, well, you know, I've got my 3rd base up way earlier. I've actually got Mutas, so I'm going to have map control. I mean, and lots of lings being in production for True here. Like, I feel that everything that he's doing is a little bit too late, but is he going to go for like a...
Yeah, well, the thing is, if you attack right as Mutas are starting to come out, then there's not enough Mutas to clean it up, right? And you can get you can deal a lot of damage back, but now it's like, well, he's getting that Mutalisk count quite high. I think we're approaching like 10 or so, and then you're going to get to the point where he's going to be really able to swat them any incoming units down much more easily, especially if there's no roaches.
I mean, it is a lot of lings here for True, and he is going to be able to deal damage at least somewhere, but met by 3 spine crawlers here, a few Mutas, Banelings in the main.
Oh, the Banelings finished. He's going to try to focus on some drones in the main.
So this is going to get cleaned up in the main. Let's have a look at the 3rd. Let's see what's happening over here. So
he moves in. The Mutas are here, so he shouldn't be able to kill it. He's going to deal some damage, but it's safe for now. And now running back into the natural, those spines going to town.
Yeah, 3 spines, pretty decently positioned. And I mean,
sLivko just absolutely shreked that attack.
Yeah, resources lost tab in the bottom right, 1,000 against 1,900. I mean, this attack by True failed in every sense of the word.
Yeah, he still got his Banelings, still got a lot of Zerglings, and the Mutalisk. So shutting down the 3rd should be pretty easy.
He's still making lots of lings too. Like, he's not making roaches at this point in time. He's making lings to deal with this, which...
Yeah, I really don't know. He's getting He's getting pathogen glands, like he wants to go into infestors. But I think this game should be pretty much close to over. He has no spores. Like, there's nothing that can actually get rid of the Mutas.
sLivko's basically like Drago.
What?
Have you watched Rocky? You haven't seen the Rocky movies?
Yeah, okay.
The Russian dude?
Drago. Okay, I know. Shut up.
Good.
GG.
I was going to say, if you haven't seen the Rocky movies, I was going to, when we get home.
So, do we, I
was going to show you Drago.
I know who Drago is.
Do you know who he's played by? A Swede.
Really?
I was not
aware of that.
Yeah. He was also He-Man, Master of the Universe.
That just continues to go into this thing where I'm slowly learning that everything is actually Swedish.
Yeah. You know who Zlatan is yet? That blows my mind.
Oh, wait. Zlatan? He's the guy that I didn't know about last season that a bunch... No, you just said it. I got a lot of tweets. I got a lot of angry tweets last season when I said I didn't know who Zlatan was.
And you still don't know?
He's the soccer guy, right?
The soccer guy. Yeah, he's the soccer guy.
Yeah. It's like European audience. He's the football player, right? Yeah. Football player. So we're gonna go to game 3 reasonably soon. That I do find myself continuously amazed by how many things are Swedish.
Yeah.
You know what I found out today?
What?
Have you been to IKEA in Sweden yet?
Actually, not in Sweden, no.
Okay. So I've never been to an IKEA.
You went today?
No.
Okay.
But we were talking about this today, and they were like, "Yeah, you can get like food there. It's like super cheap." They told me you can get like a cooked hot dog for like 5 sec.
Really?
It's like 60 cents.
Yeah.
With a bun. Like, that's so cheap. I was just blown away. I don't know, man.
For 5 sec though, that is insanely cheap.
Yeah.
It would be like,
it's like I'm not intending to like. It's not like meant as like an advertising. I'm actually just surprised by the way some of this stuff works. Apparently, yeah, I don't know. There's just some weird. I learned some weird stuff today. I actually asked every single person in the office if that was true, just because I was.
Which people did you ask though? Were they reliable? You should ask somebody you don't know, because then they probably wouldn't lie to you. Strangers don't lie. Your friends lie.
You think they were all in on it?
Maybe. I mean, if I planned on telling you something, I
tell
all
really
my friends.
paranoid production's gonna be in my.
No lies, apparently. No lies.
I don't know. It's just been an interesting.
You get meatballs if you go to IKEA anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm not really a meatball guy, so.
Really?
We'll get there. Can we agree that True, what he did made like no sense?
It made no sense. But like, I also told everybody about your when you discovered chicken curry for the first time.
That was good.
Yeah,
It was really good.
You were very worried about it being bad and like not liking
I'm
it.
I'm a picky eater.
Yes, he is.
I mean, I'm not.
Have you tried IKEA meatballs?
I just told you I've never been to IKEA before.
I mean, like, not even in America?
No.
Really? Okay, wow.
I'm sorry. I'm
I'm
sorry,
just,
Ben.
I'm surprised, man.
It looks like map 3 is Deadwing, though, so we're loading into map 3.
Cool map.
This might be the most interesting set of tweets that I have when I check during the break of all the horrible things we've learned about me today.
So you don't know who Zlatan is? Well, you know he's a soccer guy, as you put it. You haven't had meatballs from IKEA.
Nope.
Is there anything else that's going to blow my mind? Have you seen Armageddon?
This. Of course, I've seen Armageddon.
Oh, obviously, because it's American.
My favorite song is in that. Okay.
Don't want to miss a thing. Is that it?
Yeah. That's my song. That's my song.
That's awesome. That's really girly, but it's really cool.
It's a good song.
It is. So you like Aerosmith?
That's the only song I could just name off the top of my head.
I think I know Walk This Way too.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I know some of the songs, but like I was never a music person, so it's hard for me to connect songs to artists.
What kind of person were you? Or are you even?
Just ignorant.
Just ignorant? You're just a gamer, eh?
Yeah, I like
That's cool,
games. Yeah, I like games.
I'm just finding out more about you today, Nathan.
Let's talk about the game. I don't want to go down this path, Ben.
They're both producing a drone.
Yeah.
We'll actually get to see what happens. So, like, we get to have a little bit of banter.
Let me ask you though, because this is everyone's complaint about the extra workers in Legacy of the Void. When people talk about starting the game faster, how do you feel about the issue of overlords? Because most races, they'll send obviously most matchups you can send a worker scout, but in like ZVZ, in Legacy of the Void, if overlords are the same speed as we have a pause, you could like just like one of the devs was telling me like one of the builds that like they did is you start the game with 12 workers, they just immediately started a gas and then a bane and then like a pool, and like it's like a crazy fast speedling rush, but it's like your overlords move so slow right now that if we were on this cross spawn Deadwing, you could have speed done before overlord actually gets to your base to know what's going on.
Okay, you mean in ZVZ specifically?
Yeah, like I mean, it doesn't have to be, but ZVZ is the matchup where you never drone scout. So
how many workers do they plan on us starting with?
I mean, like tentatively right now, it's like 12.
10?
It was 12 when they were like talking about it, wasn't it?
It's 12. Okay, I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
12.
looked into it.
It's 12.
Okay, 12.
Unless they've changed it, but they haven't announced anything like that.
I mean, won't Zerg will Zerg spawn with one overlord, or will they spawn with two overlords?
I think hatcheries will just be worth more supply.
Really? That's kind of imba. Given that there are only 2 supply now.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the hatcheries will just be worth like 4 supply. Who knows, dude?
I mean, so many questions, and like so many builds would be kind of weird. Because if you were a 12 supply, imagine like the amount of stuff you could do with Terran.
But what would you do to deal with? I feel like the overlord problem is the biggest thing because all the other races could just send out a worker at the start of the game.
Well, so could Zerg.
Yeah, but in ZVZ, hasn't it like always been? I guess maybe it won't be a thing anymore. Maybe no one will care anymore. Maybe it will be okay to drone scout.
I mean, if you're asking like, what do I see happening? I think the 12 worker thing, I think that's going to change. I don't think it's going to be 12 eventually. I think that's too radical of a change to just kind of say, hey, we're going to have 12. I think it'll be more
I hope it's 12.
I mean, it feels like such a big jump to start with 6 and then to be like, yeah, we're going to start with 12 now. You know what I mean?
I just like the idea of not having. I like the idea of not having this phase of the game where we're like not sure what they're doing for 3-4 minutes. You know what I mean?
I like learning about you, Nathan.
And we speculate about the game.
I like Nathan learning time. First 2 minutes of the game in ZVZ.
Thanks.
Anyhow, we do have an earlier hatchery by True. Only slightly earlier.
Yeah, it's nothing really crazy. Are we once again going to see this endless gasless play out of True? And it's looking like yes.
I'm very curious about that.
He really likes to just... No, it's only weird to me because he still went for like this weird all-in last game that just totally bombed.
I mean, it didn't make sense. Like, he was kind of taking up to roaches. Then he's like, okay, I'm going to make loads of lings. I'm going to get a roach.
Well, because he had the roach one in the Bane nest, but he couldn't use either of those because neither of those units were fast enough to outrun the mutas. So
no, and I mean, he saw that his opponent went for an early third, but I guess he just didn't anticipate. I mean, the build just didn't make sense, Nathanius.
Yeah, True just...
I mean, he invested so much in other things besides Lings, then got really, really late Lings with speed to deal nothing. And I mean, like, sLivko was so prepared for being attacked by something pretty strong with those 3 spine crawlers at the front, and honestly, he didn't even need those. But we'll see what happens here. Oh, that drone. Ooh.
Ah, well, not able to save the drone that time. Pretty frustrating for sLivko.
Always frustrating, especially when you go for the pool opening, your opponent goes for... In fact, yeah, pool opening, hatch first, so losing a drone as well with that happening. Oh, a bit naff there.
Yeah, definitely a frustrating position to be in, and True is actually sending out, it feels like, quite a few more Lings to run across the map, as he wasn't really able to scout it all.
Wow, quite a few Lings in production for sLivko.
Yeah, sLivko. So his Overlord saw those Lings moving across. Maybe he's not building these defensively, is he? He's actually worried. If he is, then it's like a huge over, because there's not even any gas for True.
No, I don't think it's necessarily defensive. I mean, we see that speed is pretty close to finishing here. The fact that he's making a spine crawler here, though, is very, very peculiar. Maybe he hasn't dressed exactly. Oh, cancels. In fact, did he? He cancelled the spine. Okay. That worries me less because I felt that he totally didn't analyze the situation correctly. Leaves only 3 Lings back in his base to deal with that cleanup duty. Starts throwing down a 3rd. It looks like he's going for some mad pressure here.
Yeah, I feel like this fits in with what because all the Lings that he built before, I felt like he was worried about an attack, and then there was that spine, but now it's just all-out Lings.
I like this for True. So he's constructed a wall. He's also put the Queen with the lowest energy up front. So if it does die, then, you know, whatever. But also he can't transfuse another Queen, whereas the other guys
He's
can
softening up
him.
This evolution chamber so that maybe his Banelings can just crack it open when they finish, and he can just spill a ton of Lings in, maybe?
I mean, I think he was just trying to... I mean, quite possibly Nathanius, but I mean,
I
you can
wouldn't even mind
transfuse
to
that
see
too.
a transfuse on that. Yeah, here come the Banes. Yeah, he just transfuses the evolution.
Did he misclick the Evo and transfuse the Queen at one point there? I think he did.
I think transfusing both was fine. He pulls the drones immediately to help buy some time, and with that spine crawler and all these Queens, he can't really hurt the natural. He does get into the main base though. Starts a good couple of Banelings, and
He's
just droning up back home.
Yeah, I mean, he needs to deal damage here. If we look at the drone count, 32 to 43. Oh, the Queens do get here in time. Are they going to be able to kill those Banelings in time?
Oh,
wow, they
finished.
just get in.
They're making their way over to these... Misfire.
That was a...
premature detonation to Muslim.
Premature detonation. I mean, like, that's that moment where... Oh.
What?
That was a bit of a misrally. So not only did he headbutt an extractor with a Baneling, he also sent 4 drones to their doom.
That's less than ideal.
You know, the fact that these Lings don't have speed, though, it's working out pretty well for sLivko.
Well, some of those drones should be able to make it back.
I think one.
The one at there's like 2 at the front, no? Oh, once they step on creep, though, then it's Ogre.
It's Ogre now. I actually saw that video.
Oh, well, he did 2 drones did escape. You saw it? That was your favorite ever?
I was
You're Shrek is Life fan now?
It's Ogre now. Like, what a bizarre video, though. I liked it a lot. So what's happening? Like, we see that Ling speed being done very late for True again, and quite a lot of Lings being made. He's also eventually heading 4 Roaches by the looks of that missile attack being done. But a very similar thing for True here, except I feel that he's in a much more comfortable situation now.
Oh, yeah.
But, like... I still don't understand truly the late Ling speed and then trying to do some Ling damage, but you know, he is the better Zerg of the 2 of us, you know?
Well.
Oh, a Nidus network, okay. Do I think he's just planning on doing some big Roach Bane all-in? Nidus in the main?
It's one way to get across cross-spawns fast, and this Overlord definitely opens up that opportunity. There's nothing there to actually spot for it.
I mean, his opponent making 10 drones at a time. Roach speed on the way. The Nidus almost done. Going to be done almost in sync with that +1 missile. So that's pretty nice, I suppose. And I mean, if you are spawning in your opponent's base with Roaches, even if they don't have speed, it's still pretty darn nice.
Yeah, when they're that close, it doesn't even matter anymore. So let's see. Nidus Worm is starting.
I think
revving it up.
Wow, and look at the drone count. So he is behind in drones. His 3rd was almost a fake entirely. I mean,
it's gonna finish.
And if he whips out his Queens in there too, they all had full energy, and bam, Wow, sLivko, you saw him click in the main?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
yeah.
why would you not have your... I mean, Nidus happens so rarely, especially in ZVZ, that you know, you don't think it's going to happen to you. He has his own Roachbane army himself.
It's not like he doesn't have an army, but now the queens are here too, so you can help transfuse. Those roaches were quite clumped up though, really helping out the banelings. So
quite clumped up indeed, Nathanius. Lots of them go down to orange, and I mean, this is still looking
these
pretty bad.
transfuses are pretty clutch though. He's gotten himself a lot more longevity out of these roaches, and now the next wave comes through. Instant reinforcements. This is as good as Warpin, man.
This is as good as Warpin. I mean, this is Nidus Network right here. Drone's being pulled to the main. I guess he's being attacked at the third too, which he is by the looks on the minimap. So, oh, those speedlings actually coming into effect here.
43 drones dead.
Oh, and sLivko, wow, man. You know, when this happens to you, it's the last time it will ever happen to you. This kind of strategy where you end up losing because you didn't have vision in your main.
sLivko
like,
will spread overlords in his main forever now. GG. D picks true.
Gives him the G.